Hey guys, welcome to February for originofenergy Online. So what I'm going to go through now is just some changes that we've made with the programming, how I've been doing it in the class and I've found really effective for people. So key thing that I've been doing is every day adding in a skill-based session for handstands after the handstand split warm-up. So doing 3 sets or 4 sets of handstands, getting everyone to film each other, and I've been filming them in the class just with the different wall drills and really using that as a reference to improve and work out where the kinks are. Some of the main ones that we'll find is just people's lats being tight. So because the lats attach from T7 all the way down to the last ribs, all of the spine into the thoracolumbar fascia around here and even on the inferior border of the scapula, when they're tight and you're trying to raise your arms up with the traps and the delts, it'll pull the spine into extension. So it doesn't matter how strong your traps are or how strong your delts are to get it into that shoulder flexion. If those lats are tight, they're going to keep pulling there and flaring your ribs. And then equally, it doesn't matter how strong you are with your rib strength there to hold it in, you've got to fight those tight lats. So the easiest solution for it is just to open up your lats so you're not fighting yourself. So the best one I found is just what they call the butcher's block. You can look it up online, there's heaps of people teaching it, but basically holding a turned out position, so it's going to externally rotate because of that attachment being medial on the humerus, it externally rotates it, and then from there holding that width apart, coming down, and then maintaining that hollow in the spine, so you're really keeping the ribs active, and I'm really trying to maintain a kyphosis, quite a large kyphosis. So because I don't want that middle of my back to dip when I stretch out the lats. And for me it's a different feeling that I'm not used to because I'm so used to just collapsing in my back, and even if I try and keep the lower back, I collapse in the mid back. So really trying to, for me, stretch those fibers in the mid back to get those arms above my head in an easier way. So big breath in and breathing out. Just doing that through the day. So I feel the fibers kind of through here, right down in there, and then trying to get the fibers through here that attach at T7 to really open up. So that way when I raise my arms up, that doesn't happen. I don't dip away there. And then when you're trying to get a straight handstand, it can be very frustrating when you're trying so hard and you think you're straight and the ribs keep flaring, and then you try and contract as hard as you can here, but then it just compresses here, so it's still not going to work until there's some length in those lats. A good test to see whether you're doing that well is just using a wall. It's just a pole, but I did this in the last month as well, but you want to make sure, for me especially, like some people at lower back, they've got a kyphosis, so the lower back will just arch, and they've got a really strong kyphosis, so that's not the part where they have the problem. But because I'm quite flexible, and you may be, where the mid-thoracic is, I can maintain my lower back on there, and that's what gives me this kind of weird, wonky looking handstand. But if I can try and force the kyphosis there, and then I don't even worry too much about the lower back. If I can get on, that's okay. But main thing is that mid-thoracic, and then raise my arms up, but keeping that mid-thoracic on. Not letting it lift there, and I find it so much harder if I do that, because it just wants to come off as my arms go up. Even harder would be that way. But really trying to keep that whole of my spine, especially the middle of my spine, on. It is getting better, my handstand is getting straighter slowly, but it's just a matter of doing that work, and I'm doing that like 3-4 times a day to really try and open that up and get more awareness, more control there, so that way I can straighten out that line to progress the handstand, because you're going to find it, unless you get a really straight line, you can progress if you're really strong, but you'll find that all the different shapes are dependent upon a nice stack, especially when it comes to one arm work. And without that, it gets harder. And then if you're going into the tuck handstand or the pike handstand, and you want to do it cleanly with a nice straight line, without arching like that, and without doing like kind of a hollow back handstand or a Mexican handstand style, you're going to need even more range there than what you do just in the straight line handstand, because you're going past a little bit. So if that's not there, it's going to be way hard. And what I've found as well is from most of the guys that can do it really well, they've got past just that straight line. So if you can go past a little bit with the ribs in, then when you come back to that neutral spot where your stack is with the hollow, then it's much stronger. Whereas if you are just maxing out to hit a straight line, you're not going to be strong there because it's just way too, so you want to get that wall drill and make it like easy when you're doing it. So the back of the forearms are touching on the wall, and that's touching there, and there's that super straight line, and it's effortless. So good things to think about adding to your training and doing those 3 skill-based sets when you're doing it after your handstand split warm-up. Other difference I've been doing is just an underhand grip for my first dead hang to really get that same position. As well, and then do another one of those stretches. I do them in between each handstand because I really want to work in a class. I just encourage people to get 3 up because they normally film it, have a look, go back, correct it. And you're not trying to go for too long, get too fatigued, like 10, 15 seconds, because you're really trying to make those corrections and get the sense of them changing. So give that a go. Shoot me through some videos of your handstand so you can have a look at the shape and what you're working on, and then what you can focus more. But for most people I've found it's the lats. The upper trap strength is always going to be there, delt strength is always going to be there. Locking out of the elbows is another one that's caused from the lats because they attach medially. As you go up, the elbows will want to go back to try and keep the lats, because they're not long enough. If the lats are longer, you can get that external rotation and get right up a lot easier. Whereas if they're tight, it wants to do that. So that's another one to help with the elbow lock as well, and that nice straight line. So yeah, get some videos into me. That's what really helps me do this work, so you can be, like one of the people training in the class as much as possible, but anywhere in the world. So make use of the subscription and get into it. Cheers guys.